It wasn't the worst thing my dad had ever said. That's what made it land. We were in the middle of my aunt's anniversary dinner. Paper plates, folding chairs, the usual circle of relatives who pretend not to notice tension. My brother had just announced he was switching majors again. My dad laughed, clapped him on the back, and said, "It's fine. He'll figure it out. He's the one with potential." Then he looked at me, actually pointed. "You've always been a drain. Your brother's the one who actually matters." Some people chuckled awkwardly. Someone said, "Oh, come on." My brother stared at his drink. I didn't defend myself. Because the truth was, I had been paying part of his tuition for 3 years. I covered the shortfalls when scholarships didn't come through. I sent money for his rent when he missed shifts. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself family invests in each other. But investment implies return. That night I packed a single suitcase. I didn't slam doors. I didn't text anyone. I just transferred the last of the shared household utilities fully into my dad's name, canceled the automatic monthly transfer to my brother, and booked a one-way flight to the city where my company's regional office had an opening. I left before sunrise. No announcement. No confrontation. For the first 2 weeks, no one noticed. Or if they did, they assumed I was cooling off. I kept expecting a call asking if I was okay. Instead, a month later, my phone buzzed with a text from my brother. "Hey, did something happen with the bank? I didn't get the usual transfer. No hello. No how are you. Just logistics." I stared at the message longer than I should have. Part of me wanted to explain everything. To list every payment I'd made since he was 19, to attach screenshots, to justify my existence in spreadsheets. Instead, I typed, "Didn't want to waste it on someone who already had everything that mattered." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. What's that supposed to mean? I didn't answer. That's when the calls started. My dad left a voicemail about responsibility. My mom texted paragraphs about family loyalty. The narrative was familiar. I was overreacting. I was punishing them. I was being dramatic. No one mentioned the word drain. A week later, I received an email from my brother's university financial office. I had been listed as a secondary guarantor for a private tuition balance. The account was past due. That was the first time my stomach tightened. I'd signed that paperwork at 23, sitting beside him in a fluorescent lit office because my dad said it would look better if someone with stable income co-signed. I called the university. Calm voice, recorded line. I explained I would be formally withdrawing as guarantor effective immediately. They asked for written confirmation and identification. I sent both. 2 days later, I received official documentation. My name removed from all financial responsibility tied to his account moving forward. Kleagle. Timestamped. I forwarded the confirmation to my brother. No commentary. He called within minutes. "This is serious," he said. His voice sounded thinner than I remembered. "They're saying I have to set up a payment plan, or they'll freeze my enrollment." "I know. Why would you do this now?" I almost said, "Because Dad told everyone I don't matter." But that wasn't the whole truth. "I shouldn't have been on it in the first place," I said. "It's your degree." Silence stretched. "You know I can't afford it on my own." I thought about the overtime shifts I'd worked at 22. The apartment I didn't upgrade. The vacations I skipped. I couldn't afford it either. I said. I just rearranged my life. He didn't yell. That surprised me. He just sounded confused. Like the ground had shifted. Over the next month, I heard through relatives that my dad was furious. That he said I'd abandoned the family, that I was selfish. But bills don't respond to anger. My brother had to meet with financial aid officers himself. He picked up extra work. He negotiated a payment plan. For the first time, he was CC'd on every notice with no buffer between him and the consequence. No one called me a drain anymore. They called me distant. One evening, about 3 months after I left, my brother texted again. Not about money. "Are you doing okay out there?" I stared at it. It was the first question about me in years that wasn't tied to what I could provide. "I'm good," I replied. There was a pause. "I didn't realize how much you were covering," he sent. Dad made it sound like, "I don't know." Like what? Like I was just there. We didn't resolve anything in that conversation. There was no apology from him for the dinner, no dramatic admission of favoritism. Just an awkward exchange about work, rent prices, weather. But the tone had changed. Without the monthly transfers, something else surfaced: space. Space for him to feel pressure. Space for me to feel something other than obligation. My dad hasn't apologized. I don't expect him to. Conditional love doesn't suddenly become self-aware. But here's what changed. When the next tuition deadline passed, I wasn't involved. When my brother negotiated his own payment extension, I wasn't the fallback. When my parents argued about finances, my name didn't come up. Missing me wasn't dramatic. It was practical. They had to account for what I'd been quietly holding together. I don't feel victorious. I feel lighter. There's guilt, still. Some nights I wonder if I proved my father right by stepping away. But then I remember that love built on transactions isn't love. It's leverage. And for the first time in my life, I'm not the one providing it.